Hi guys, welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be looking at a 2x3 mid-game base. First off, I'd like to say sorry for the buzzing at the back of my mic. I'm trying to fix that. And let's move on to the base. It's got stone on the outside, but as you can see now, metal on the inside. This should keep alpha tribes off your back, but when primitive raiders blow in, they'll have a hard time because of the metal. It's also compact, it's got lots of things inside, it's very honeycombed, so it's hard to blow through all the doors to get everything. But it also has enough space, as you can see here, to put turrets in inside the base, so you can shoot at raiders that blew in through doors. Let's get right on with this build. First off, it's the basic 1x1, as this is an upgradable design. I'm going to start with that, so I'm going to put a foundation in front of it just for later, but for now, this is just the 1x1. So I'm going to place a smithy right now. You can place it with a ladder, as I've shown you in my previous video, how to place anything perfectly from this ladder. I'm just going to freehand most of this base design, but feel free to do whatever you want with that. Next, I'm going to put in a forge right here. I'm going to try and squeeze it in, make sure open the door the other way first before I go ahead and throw this forge in, because it gives me a bit more room. I struggled a bit with this placing, but it's because I placed my smithy too close, but I managed to get a good spot here. I can access both the smithy and the forge at the same time. Next I'm going to put a pestle down so you can access all three there. It closes up nice and tight. Yeah. I'd recommend putting a bed here in this little airlock area, but if I didn't, because I'm an idiot apparently, but I'm going to put bed. I'm also going to double layer around this area. So the first one's going to be stone on the outside and then metal on the inside. It's important, as I said earlier, the stone will keep alphas off your back, but once primitive raiders blow in, they'll find metal on the inside, which will have a harder time blowing through. Also, I'd press Y on the Xbox to flip these door frames so they're facing the same way on the foundation. It's just a style of, what I prefer anyway, so I do that, but it can be anything. If you're on the PC, I believe it is the same button as you gather with, like picking from berry bushes and stuff like that. It is that button as well. Here I lower the foundation for the fabricator, so the fabricator doesn't stick through the roof when I do it. But as you can see, I kind of messed up there. I didn't really lower the foundation for whatever reason, it just didn't want to do it. So I ended up only lowering the foundation once, and that causes me a problem later, so make sure you don't do that. This is upgradable, as I said before, so this second kind of area of the base is for when you build your first fabricator. One refining forge is kind of a stretch, but you should be able to do it. And I recommend putting it on metal foundations. You will not be able to really change this later. You can demolish the stone foundations. If you use stone, you can demolish the stone foundations on top and then replace the ones in the bottom with metal if you use stone first. So it's possible, it's just easier. I wouldn't snap the stone foundation there, because I give an example of this. I demolish the stone foundation so I can place another metal one down, and here's your tip for the day. Generators generally stick into stuff like fabricators and things, so you can actually stick the generator very far into the fabricator, giving you more room to place other things in the same room. As you can see, it's very far in there, about halfway through the fabricator the generator's placed through. I'd recommend placing wires first and then snapping the foundations over them. I've had problems placing the foundations and then snapping the wires. It just doesn't seem to work, so in case you have that bug, I'd recommend placing the wires then the foundations. Here I'm double laying the walls around the generator and the fabricator. Now these are very easily upgradable. You can put in stone first and then metal later. I just put stone on the outside, metal on the inside later, so this protects your fabricator and generator, which is where you're going to be keeping most of your electronics, unless you have separate storage for those, polymer stuff like that, to make turrets and guns and more of your advanced stuff. So I recommend putting this in metal first. This is like the first area you want to put metal in, other than doors obviously. And yeah, so Now we just got to honeycomb a bit. Right here you can double layer if you want. I end up doing it, but just in stone. It's not a big of a deal. So yeah, I'm hopping around like an idiot, and here we go in. So I'm going to place a fence foundation there, but not here. Remember that. Fence foundation there can be a bit funky, so make sure you place it right, and I'll show you later why. This is also where you could decide where you want to have your metal if you only have a bit of metal. I ended up putting the metal in the fabricator because in my opinion it's more important than the generator, because if they're that far in your base already, really what's your generator going to do? You want to keep them out of your valuable stuff, so I put them in there. But obviously if you have enough metal you may as well metal them both. Here I show you why the fence foundation can be a bit funky. Here, as you can see, something about the arc snap points just doesn't like it, so I've had to snap a metal thing here, and then once I've done that I can actually put in another metal thing. As you can see here, you're putting another metal door frame. Just didn't show that. In here, this space you can put wherever you want. I decided to go with the forge and some mortar and pestles, but you can put anything you want in there, anything that can fit in there, it's up to you. I went with the extra forge to kind of get more metal or smelted quickly, and pestles because it's like the most safe place in the base. Here is what the layout looks like above. It's the safest place in the base, so you may as well throw it in there. For the second floor, I put it in the middle room where the airlock between the generator and the fabricator, that kind of area. But you can put it, I wouldn't recommend putting it in the first room just because it's the first place someone would blow into. So I'm putting it there because it has the most room for that. So up here is where the upgrade starts, because normally you just have that first floor with all your stuff in it, and then once you start to be able to build electrical structures, you'd start to get more materials and better stuff. So you need a storage room as well as more places to put your electronics stuff. So here I put a stone ceiling here and metal ceilings everywhere else, mainly because raiders don't want to be blown into your fabricator and stuff. We want them to blow into that first airlock area. There you can also see I messed up on the fabricator. So here I'm placing the fridges. This is how I did it. I did an orbital, so I got that one, I placed them so they're exactly next to each other. And then I also put preserving bins so you can start to make jerky for kibble. I think this is where you really want to be starting to make that dodecarasanki kibble to get in that more metal, because up here we can have more forges as well, so we can get a lot more metal more efficiently. So yeah, this is the true mid-game base, as you can see. Going to speed this up a bit because it's just placing walls. I'm decided not to double layer this top thing. If you can, if you're willing to, you can do it. Just for this example, I'm not going to. Sort of Spider-Man around that as well. Here is a bit of duffer, and I put forges going this way, so this forge sticks out more. And then quickly realised, oh, I don't want to do that because I want to have more smithies lined up here, so that if that forge is against the wall, I'll be able to fit more in. So yeah, that one's going to be against the wall, and the one on the other end is going to stick out a bit, so we can fit more smithies here. You can put more in pestles. I just prefer smithies over them because they have more storage. I don't know, I just never really liked using mortar and pestles, and obviously can't fit large storage boxes in here. So smithies are a better job at doing that. They're going to give us lots of storage. I put 3 in there, I believe. I think 3. I can't tell. And then I'm going to put doors here to honeycomb this a bit, because I can't reach all 3 of the or 2 of the refrigerators from this end, nor can I reach the preserving bins from the other end, so we're just going to put 2 doors there. And for the ceiling, we're going to have sloped roofs, so the refrigerators don't stick out as much, and also you can put blunt X on them, which will slope downwards so they can shoot downwards at raiders instead of just being cut off at the end as they normally would. So you can have more range of the blunt X there. At the top I just had normal ceilings, but yeah, I mean that's really all there is to the space, guys. Thank you for watching. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe. Hopefully I'll be talking about my upload schedule. Check out the description. You can see refrigerators stick out a bit, but you'll be able to throw in crop plots. See you guys, make sure to subscribe if you enjoyed this video. I will try to be posting more. Read the description for more info. And yeah, I'll see you guys later in my next video. See you guys.
Tell me pretty lies, look me in the face, tell me that you love me, even if it's fake.